Good morning, cadets. Today we will learn about a very important concept, that is equipotential surfaces. What is a equipotential surface? From the term itself you can derive the meaning. Equipotential surface, a surface having all points having same potential. A surface having all points having same potential is called as equipotential surface. So, equipotential surface is a surface with a constant value of potential at all points lying on it. So, we will write it first. A surface with constant potential at all points on it is called an equipotential surface. Let us consider a point charge. Say a positive point charge. Now, for a positive point charge, we know the potential. Potential due to a point charge V is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R. It means potential is inversely proportional to the distance R. So, at a particular distance, suppose this is the distance R, if you draw a sphere with charge as the center, if you draw a sphere with charge as center of this, then this spherical surface at distance r is having all the points with the same potential, So, like this we can draw the concentric spherical surface around the point charge. The concentric spherical surface around the point charge represent the equipotential surfaces. But every spherical surface has its own value of potential. So, if you go on drawing equipotential surface, you will get this kind of equipotential surface around the point charge. So, this is a picture of equipotential surfaces of a point charge. We have already learnt about a point charge, about its radial electric field. The field lines of this point charge are radially outwards. This represents radial field lines. So, these are representing electric field lines, whereas the spherical surfaces are representing potential surfaces, and these are called as equipotential surfaces. So, a surface with a constant value of potential at all points lying on it is called as equipotential surface. So, concentric spherical surfaces around the point charge represent the equipotential surfaces around the point charge. So, this charge may be even negative point charge. If it is a negative point charge, then the field lines, the field lines are radially inwards, right? Again you will be able to get similar kind of potential surfaces. And you see, as you are approaching the charge, the concentration of these potential surfaces, means density of these surfaces is increasing, means they are lying closer and closer as you are approaching to the point charge. As you are going away from the point charge, the distance is increasing. The distance of separation between the point charge, the distance of separation between the potential surfaces is increasing. It means as you go nearer and nearer to the point charge, say positive point charge, the potential value increases. This is the meaning. The potential increases as you go to the closer and closer distance to the source charge. As you move away, you see the distance between the potential surfaces is increasing. The spacing between the potential surfaces is increasing. It represents the potential value is decreasing because V is inversely proportional to R. V is inversely proportional to R. In the same way, we have learnt even electric field. Electric field lines, you see, as you are approaching closer to the source charge, there is more crowding. There is more crowding of field lines. The density of field lines is more when you come closer to the source charge. But when you are moving away from the source charge, the spacing between the field lines is increasing. The spacing between the field lines is increasing. It means electric field decreases as you move away from the source charge. So, the equipotential surfaces gives you an additional picture to the already existing electric field with the help of the electric field lines. We have already studied how to draw radial electric field lines for a point charge. In addition to that, we get an additional picture with the help of potential surfaces. Okay. So, this is the picture of equipotential surfaces for a point charge. Then we can draw equipotential surfaces for any charge configuration. Charge configuration may be a linear charge, it may be surface charge density, it may be spherical charge density, right? It may be any charge configuration. One can draw the equipotential surfaces for any charge configuration. Now, let us draw the very interesting equipotential surfaces for a uniform electric field. This is radial electric field, right? If it is a uniform electric field, then how does the equipotential surface appear? How do the equipotential surface appear? Now, look at this. At every point, the electric field is radially outwards. So, it represents that at every point on the equipotential surface, electric field is perpendicular to the equipotential surface, right? Electric field is always perpendicular at any point on the equipotential surface. If you just draw a tangent here, tangent drawn on the surface is always perpendicular to radius. So, we got the radial electric field lines radially outwards. Therefore, the radius is always perpendicular to the tangent at every point. Therefore, the electric field is perpendicular to every point on the equipotential surface, or equipotential surface is perpendicular to the electric field lines. In this way, we can also understand, we can also follow. Second point to be remembered here is equipotential surface is always perpendicular to the electric field lines. Let us see. With that, we can draw equipotential surface for this uniform electric field. This represents uniform electric field. So, for the uniform electric field lines, how do the equipotential surface appear. So, I can draw equipotential surface in this way. As I said here, equipotential surfaces are always perpendicular to electric field lines. So, you will get parallel electric field lines, no doubt, and the planes perpendicular to these parallel field lines, they represent the equipotential surfaces. You can call this V1, V2, V3. So, 3 surfaces of different potentials, right. So, these are the surfaces which are perpendicular to electric field lines. So, equipotential surfaces are perpendicular to perpendicular planes to the electric field lines, or in another way, electric field lines are always perpendicular to equipotential surfaces. That is also another point to be remembered. Or electric field lines are always perpendicular to the equipotential surfaces. Equipotential surface at every point. So, you can see from this picture, from these both radial electric field and uniform electric field, you can see that the planes, if electric field for example is if electric field is acting along x axis, then the YZ planes which are perpendicular to x axis, they represent the equipotential surfaces. Okay. So, at every point on this surface, at all the point on this surface, the potential value remains the same, whether it is here, here, here or here. Everywhere the potential takes the value V1. If it is here, it will be taking the value V2. If it is here, it will be taking the value V3. And note here, very interesting thing, the distance between these parallel planes, the perpendicular distance between the parallel planes is always constant. This is because it is representing uniform electric field. If the electric field is increasing in this direction, suppose electric field is not uniform, but if it is acting in the same direction, if the electric field is increasing in one direction, then the distance between the equipotential surfaces decreases as you are approaching towards the stronger and stronger region of electric field. You can see here, the distance between the equipotential surfaces is decreasing as you are approaching the stronger and stronger region of electric field, where the potential values are increasing. Okay. This is the thing to be remembered, and at every point the electric field is perpendicular to the equipotential surface. This can be observed from radial field lines as well as radial electric field as well as uniform electric field. Now, one can prove how is that electric field is perpendicular to the equipotential surface, or vice versa. How is that equipotential surface is always perpendicular to electric field? One can do this by simple consideration. Look here, if you consider this point as A and this point as B, right? Then the potential at point A is same as potential at point B. So VA is equal to VB is equal to V1 in this case. If at all you want to move a charge, let us say a test charge Q naught from A to B, the work done in moving a charge from A to B or from B to A is 0, because the potential difference between A and B is 0. What do you mean by potential difference between A to B? The work done per unit charge in moving it from B to A is called as potential difference between A and B, VB minus VA. VB minus VA, if you take it, then we call it as potential difference. Work done per unit charge in moving it from B to A, or in this case A to B also, per unit charge is 0. So when the work done per unit charge is 0, so potential difference between them is 0, right? If the electric field is not perpendicular to potential surface, if it would be in any other direction, suppose this is a potential surface, right, and electric field is not acting perpendicular, suppose it is acting in some direction, let us assume that electric field is acting in some other direction, then one can draw two components, perpendicular component and parallel component. So in that case, suppose this is point B and this is point A. In that case, if at all you want to move a charge from B to A, right? If at all you want to move a unit charge from B to A, then work has to be done. Or if at all you want to move a charge from A to B, work has to be done against this parallel component of electric field which would be existing along the surface. If some positive work has to be done in moving a test charge from A to B or B to A, then it is in contradiction with the meaning of equipotential surface. If non-zero work is done per unit charge, it means what? There exists some potential difference. But according to the meaning of equipotential surface, potential at every point is same. So potential difference between these 2 points is 0. So work done per unit charge in moving a test charge from one point to another point should be 0, right? So that implies there exists no parallel component of electric field. Electric field doesn't have any component along the equipotential surface anywhere, whether it is uniform electric field or even radial electric field. The electric field doesn't have parallel component of electric field doesn't have any component parallel to the surface. It has only one component, that is perpendicular component, right? So if at all one has to move a charge from one point to another point, work has to be done against the electric field, right? So electric field is thus has only normal component, it doesn't have parallel component along the surface. Therefore, electric field is always perpendicular to the equipotential surface at every point lying on it. Okay. So this can be proved mathematically also. Now let us prove that how electric field vector is always perpendicular to equipotential surface. Let us consider a simple example of one particular equipotential surface, a plane surface which is having potential V. At all the points on this surface, the potential is V. Consider 2 points A and B, right? Now let us calculate work done in moving a charge from point A to B or from point B to A. Now potential at A, what is potential at A? It is also V. Potential at B is also E. Potential at A is also V. Potential at B is also V. Therefore, potential difference between A and B is 0. So, work done per unit charge is 0, right? Let us see how one can calculate it. Let us see. We have equipotential surface here. With potential V at all points, VA equal to VB equal to 0, VA equal to VB equal to some potential value which we have chosen it as V. Now, it means work done in moving a charge from A to B is calculated as Q into, right? Let us say Q is, okay, let us say Q naught is the test charge which is being moved from A to B. Test charge Q naught is being moved from A to B. Work done in moving a test charge from A to B, as we have defined earlier, is equal to V into Q naught into VBA. Q naught into VBA, where VBA is the potential difference between B and A. So, this becomes Q into VBA. VBA is 0. Therefore, work done in moving a test charge from A to B is 0. Work done per unit charge in moving from A to B is also 0. So, this implies work done per unit charge is also 0. So, call this as equation 1. So, work done per unit charge is 0 because potential difference between A and B is 0. Now, let us calculate the work done by another method, that is force into displacement. We already know it. Work done WAB equal to force vector dot the displacement vector. Let us take this displacement A to B displacement as dr, right? Now, force to be exerted on this charge Q naught is equal to Q naught times electric field. Here, force to be exerted is equal to test charge Q naught multiplied by electric field E. So, substitute here. So, this becomes Q naught times E dot dr. So, take this Q naught to the left hand side. So, it becomes WAB by Q naught equal to E dot dr. E dot dr. So, this gives us the work done moving work done moving unit charge, 1 coulomb of charge from A to B, which is giving us potential difference, and that potential difference is 0 already, which we have found out. So, the left hand side becomes 0, right? Left hand side becomes 0. Therefore, from equation 1, you call this 2 from 1 and 2. From 1 and 2. So, here we have taken Q naught. So, let us not get confused, Q naught. So, 1 and 2 we conclude E dot dr is equal to 0. So, by the meaning of dot product, what is E dot dr? E dot dr is nothing but E dr cos theta equal to 0, where E is the electric field here, right, and dr is the displacement from A to B. Dr is the displacement from A to B. So, E dr cos theta equal to 0. Electric field is not 0. Electric field has some value. Displacement is not 0. So, only thing that is possible is cos theta must be 0. When will be cos theta 0? So here theta tells you about the angle between electric field vector and the dr vector. So here this implies cos theta must be equal to 0. When will be cos theta equal to 0? Cos theta is equal to 0 when theta is equal to pi by 2 or 90 degree. This implies that electric field at all the points everywhere is perpendicular to the displacement, Therefore, electric field is always perpendicular to displacement, means it is in this way. So, at every point on this equipotential surface, electric field is perpendicular. It does not have any parallel component, it has only normal component of electric field. So, this is how one can prove by taking a plane surface having one common potential V. Therefore, electric field is always perpendicular to dr and it is always perpendicular to equipotential surface. Thus, we prove that E is always perpendicular to equipotential surface. Okay. Now, look at this dipole, an equal and opposite charge, a pair of equal and opposite charges separated by a fixed distance is called as a dipole. So, here it is positive charge and here it is negative charge, minus q plus q, and you see the equipotential surfaces. Equipotential surfaces are drawn for positive charge as well as negative charge. Very interesting. Here in between the charges, since they are unlike charges, you will expect a force of attraction. There is a kind of interaction, force of attractive interaction. Therefore, because of attractive interaction, you see the equipotential surfaces are lying closer and closer, and the electric field between them will be, you see, if you draw the electric field, it will be perpendicular at every point and it moves from positive charge to negative charge. It starts from positive charge, ends at negative charge. So, in the same way we can draw everywhere. If you go on drawing the perpendicular lines, these perpendicular curved lines, they represent the electric field lines. So, here also you can draw electric field lines, and this is how the electric field lines can be drawn. Everywhere you can find electric field lines are perpendicular, and here they are merging at negative charge. So, electric field lines can be shown like this. So, these are the interesting equipotential surfaces for a dipole. So, field lines are entering here and field lines are emerging out here. So, this is how one can draw the potential surfaces, equipotential surfaces for a system of dipole. In the same way, for a pair of equal like charges, if you draw, you see you will find a repulsive force between them. If it is Q and this is also Q, positive charge, there will be force of repulsion. So, force of repulsion, if you draw, you see it will be shown like this. So, it means you will find just the reverse. Reverse way. They appear to be closer at this side and they are appearing to be blown up on the other side, In the same way we can draw here. This charge appears to be repelling. So, here you can see if you draw the field lines will be exerting pressure on each other due to repulsive force. So, that also will do. So, this is how the field lines appear for a pair of equal and opposite charges. It is not pair of equal and opposite, pair of like charges, right. So, you have to draw properly. So, if you draw the field lines you see the field lines are radially outwards, you see, and in this case the field lines are exerting a repulsive force on each other and a pressure on each other. So, this is how one can show the field lines. This is the field lines as well as equipotential surfaces for a pair of like charges having same amount. So, the difference you can make out here, there is a force of attraction when there is a pair of like pair of unlike charges, there is a force of repulsion. Okay. So, at all the points when you draw perpendicular lines, perpendicular curves, that they represent the electric field lines. Now, here you can make out one more equipotential surface. We have studied for a dipole we have studied, if you draw a plane passing through the midpoint, a plane passing through the midpoint of the dipole is called equatorial plane. This equatorial plane is also an example of an equipotential surface wherein we have found out that at every point on this the potential value V is 0. Potential due to positive charge cancels with potential due to negative charge because of equal distance of these points from the source charges. So, at all the points potential is taking same value, that is 0 potential. Therefore, equatorial plane passing through the midpoint consisting of the perpendicular line bisecting the dipole is an example of equipotential surface. So, this is an example of equipotential surface. With 0 potential. With 0 potential. Okay. So, in the next video we will calculate the work done in taking a charge from one potential surface to another potential surface, and we will study the relation between electric field and potential, which is very, very important. Relation between electric field and potential difference. Okay. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.